So everybody here should know me by now, I hope.
Sadly.
Everybody knows, it's no secret, I kind of have a little bit of a quirky fashion sense.
A little bit.
But what we're going to talk about can apply to everybody. As you can see, the shirt that I'm wearing used to be a plain black t-shirt.
There used to be a plane on it?
No, it was a ordinary black size 2X t-shirt. With a little bit of work, I turned it into this. A fitted tank top, the design on the front, and fancy seams. So, first thing we're going to talk about, some of the primary tools you'll use in t-shirt reconstruction. The most important one is your scissors. Have to have scissors. Fabric shears work best, but you can probably use any kind of scissor, but fabric shears will work best. You won't struggle with them as much. Seam rippers are great. I use this a lot. I like to use embroidery needles. Once again, that's my seams on my shoulders. I also like to use a rotary cutter and a rotary mat. It makes nice straight cuts, and it actually makes the cutting process a lot easier. Sewing machines are great, but you don't have to have one. You can do it without a sewing machine. You can do it without sewing at all. So what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you how to take this, which is one of my husband's racing shirts, and resize it and make it into a custom shirt. This is the back, this is the front. That's important for later. First thing you want to do, take your seam ripper and get in here and get to the sleeve seams from the inside. Then what you're going to do is you're basically just going to dig your seam ripper in there and pull with the threads. And this process takes a while, so I'm not going to make you guys watch me do the whole thing. But then what you'll end up with, after you pull that off, is this, a sleeveless t-shirt. I do this for my husband all the time. He buys t-shirts, doesn't like the sleeves on them, so I take my seam ripper and take them off. Next thing we're going to do, and it's important that you do this first.
Except you just took the sleeves off first.
After you take the sleeves off, I do apologize. So you've got your hem on the bottom of the shirt. Now you can take a pair of scissors and just cut it straight across. I like to use a rotary mat just because it makes my life a little bit easier. It makes it go a lot faster. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my rotary cutter and cut right above the hem of the shirt. You want to maintain the stitching in the hem because you can use that later. The wonderful thing about t-shirt reconstruction is you can use everything in the end.
Can you use a chainsaw for this?
Well, I suppose you could, but I'm not sure how much of the t-shirt you have left. I apologize, my wheel on our rotary cutter is wearing out a little bit, so I kind of have to make some of the cuts for it.
I don't know, I kind of like that cut.
This is why you always maintain your tools.
Makes it look lacy.
So now,
Looks holy.
we've taken the hem off the bottom of the shirt. Like I said, you can use this later, so don't throw it away. So now you've got, looks like t-shirt, no hem. What you're going to do is you are then going to take your scissors, or it's better with scissors than a rotary cutter. You're going to make sure your shirt's folded in half neatly. Because what you're going to do is you're going to cut from the bottom all the way up to the armpits on these. Now the cut doesn't have to be beautiful. Don't worry about getting this one terribly straight or anything, because you're not going to see it. So then you're going to do the other side. So now you've got your t-shirt split in half. So then you're going to want to put it back together so you can make this, so then you can do the next one. This is a wonderful thing to know how to do just because everybody's got millions of t-shirts in their closets.
I don't think I
And
have
sometimes they get to be too much. Sometimes somebody wants you to throw them out and you really don't want to get rid of them. Sometimes you just need a new outfit.
You make good rags.
They don't make good rags. You make clothes out of them.
They do make good rags.
Uh-huh.
So, and even if you're not going to wear the t-shirt yourself, maybe somebody wants you to get rid of it and you're really attached to that shirt, you can always say, how about we compromise? I'll let you have it, we can do this, and then it's a nice shirt for you.
Okay, I know of a shirt.
Or it makes a fantastic gift. Customized, nobody else will have one just like it. So then the next thing you're going to do after we've got this all put back together, we're going to make our, next thing you're going to do, you're going to take your sides and you're going to cut about 2 to 3 inches in. You're going to make several slits. You can make as many as you want. You just want to make sure you've got the same number on both sides of the shirt. I usually do between 10 and 12 just because it's going to make smaller knots, and you'll see how that makes a difference here in a little bit. So what you're going to do is you're just going to do this all the way up both sides of the shirt. And I'm not going to make you guys watch me cut up the whole shirt. And then you're going to take, you're left with these little fringy things. So what you're going to do is you're going to take these 2 ends that match. You want to take the 2 ends that match together. You just tie them in a knot. So once you've got these all tied in a knot, then you're going to lay your shirt out and you're going to decide what you want the neckline to look like. Now me, I'm going to take this and I am going to turn it around so the back is the front. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out about where I want the neck to come down to. And you don't want to cut through both sides of the shirt, so be careful. You can also do this by putting the shirt on. So now you've got a little nip where your neck is going to be. You don't want to cut your neck too big, because then you just end up with a shirt that either won't stay on or is just showing way more than you want to show. So I'm cutting my nice little neckline here. And you want to cut around the back, so you want to make sure you get the whole old collar cut off. That way it doesn't. That way it's kind of uniform looking.
I've never seen a uniform look like that.
Hey, I'm more than happy to make them if someone wants uniforms. I'll open this. So now your shirt has a uniform. And now, remember, I didn't knot up all the sides earlier. So this is what it's going to end up looking like once you're finished. The knotted sides will automatically bring the shirt in a little bit, and since all t-shirts are a little bit stretchy, it's going to kind of hug a little bit. You can shape the sleeves out here. I don't. I kind of like the image that it gives of us being like a t-shirt sleeves, but there's not really a sleeve there. So I've got the neck cut down. Now there's one more thing. The bottom, you'll notice the edges get kind of raggedy when you cut them with a pair of scissors. Easy to fix. You just want to take your fabric and stretch it, and it'll curl around and nobody will ever know that it was a little uneven. So then, remember I said we were going to save this. What you can do with this is trim all the little excess fabric pieces you've got off on here. Like you can see more than the hem here. You're just going to want to trim those off. Don't throw those away either. I don't throw any of those away. I keep all of it. You're just going to want to trim those off. And then you can take another t-shirt. And the skirt that I'm wearing is actually made from the bottom of a t-shirt. I cut from the top. I cut from the sleeves straight across. Turn the skirt over so the hem is on top. We don't want to cut the hem off this one. And then I made a little tiny slit in the hem. I didn't cut through the threads, I just cut right to above them. And then basically what you want to do is cut this and string it through as your drawstring. There's lots of other things you can do with the scraps for t-shirts, like the headband I'm wearing. Actually is a sleeve to a t-shirt. Simplest headband ever. I like to take the little tiny scraps, and you can make like little dolls out of them because you've got these little scraps like this. There's nothing you can do with them. So I like to take the bigger scraps and make like little dolls out of them and use these for the stuffing. You don't have to throw anything away. So you found a wonderful way to recycle and be fashionable.